Throughout the 90s and 2000s, there was a popular trend of video games being made to coincide with the release of a popular movie. These games were seen as big bucks to developers, as they could ride the hype of an already popular franchise in order to boost sales and ensure their games flew off the shelf. However, because the time it takes to make a movie is so much shorter than the time it takes to make a video game, these games were often rushed by small groups of developers who were given little to no resources to make these games. These games eventually grew a reputation of being awful, even when compared to their often also awful films. So, I'm doing a series looking at these odd combinations. We'll look at the movie and the game to see how they fit together, or, more likely, how they don't. This is Movie Games. You could say DreamWorks Animation has had a very interesting history when it comes to their films. The reputation of their films have such a wide range, from the popularly memeable Shrek films, to the beautifully animated Prince of Egypt and Road to El Dorado, to the emotional roller coasters that were the Kung Fu Panda and How to Train Your Dragon series, finishing off with the bottom of the barrel atrocities that were Shark Tale and Flushed Away. Amongst all these films, though, there is one DreamWorks film series I feel gets overlooked quite a bit: Madagascar. Released in 2005, this film about zoo animals who get loose in the city and eventually are thrown into the wild received mixed reviews from critics, but was a monster success at the box office, bringing in $532 million against only a $75 million budget. The film was such a success that it spawned a huge franchise, including sequels, TV shows, spin-off films, stage musicals, and yes, even video games, including a tie-in for the original film that was released on the PS2, Xbox, Nintendo DS, Game Boy Advance, and GameCube consoles. So, let's see if this pair goes together as well as a lion and a zebra being best friends. This is Movie Games Madagascar. The movie begins with a zebra named Marty, voiced by Chris Rock, who's frolicking through a choir of singing penguins. Interesting way to begin, I guess. Turns out he was just daydreaming as his lion friend Alex, voiced by Ben Stiller, shows up to wish Marty a happy 10th birthday. However, Marty says he's tired of being stuck in the zoo and isn't sure what he wants to do.
Maybe I should go to law school.
I think Marty's the first person to ever think law school will actually cure his depression instead of cause it. Alex tries to cheer him up and give him some advice.
You know, make it fresh.
Fresh, huh? Okay, I could do fresh.
Is this about to turn into a douche commercial?
Mom, do you ever feel, not so fresh?
We see Alex get ready for the zoo to open as we are introduced to our other main characters, Gloria the hippo, voiced by Wanda Sykes, and Melman the giraffe, voiced by David Schwimmer. Are we sure Alex isn't part Chihuahua? Because in this scene he's acting much more like a Chihuahua than he is a lion. Oh look, it's the best part of the movie.
Just smile and wave, boy.
You're lying.
And the bad news?
We've broken our last shovel.
This group of penguins is made up of Skipper, voiced by the director Tom McGrath, Kowalski, voiced by Shrek the Third director Chris Miller, Private, voiced by Christopher Knight, and Rico, voiced by DreamWorks founder and CEO Jeffrey Katzenberg.
I want you to look cute and cuddly, Private.
Something I say to my privates on a daily basis. These penguins are the funniest thing in this entire franchise. The way they move, talk, and are animated is so perfect that anytime they're on the screen, I can't help but laugh. The day comes and goes at the zoo.
I hope you thought it was fresh.
Is this about to turn into a Subway commercial?
Subway, eat fresh.
As Marty's friends throw him a birthday party and he reveals that he wants to run away to the wild.
I wished I could go to the wild.
Marty, come on. What would Connecticut have to offer us?
Lyme disease.
Thank you, Mel.
Oh, come on. Why does everyone want to take shots at Connecticut? They don't deserve this amount of hate. It is a perfectly fine state. Alex tries to talk Marty out of his idea to leave, but just seems to end up making things worse.
I'm 10 years old. My life is half over. And I don't even know if I'm black with white stripes or white with black stripes.
I mean, I'm 22 and I still don't know what color this damn dress was. The group eventually wakes up in the middle of the night to find Marty is missing and try to get help.
Get me missing animals! And hurry! We've got a lost zebra, probably on the way to Connecticut.
Okay, how did that face not turn into a meme? I didn't know Gloria was going to play She-Hulk in the MCU. The group take off after Marty.
I heard Tom Wolfe was speaking at Lincoln Center. Well, of course we're going to throw poo at him.
What an obscure name drop. As Marty makes his way through the streets of New York.
Yeah, that's right, a zebra. Right in front of me. Can I shoot it?
Some things never change.
Grand Central Station. It's grand and it's central.
And it's a station. The group find Marty, but the humans are not happy to see them.
How do you like that?
Kitty! What is wrong with you?
Okay, I haven't seen any of the sequels or spin-offs, but I really hope they show the backstory of this weird old lady. Was she in the army? Was she a boxer? Does he just have a horrible attitude? I don't know, but I desperately need to.
Bad kitty.
The group try talking sense into Marty as they get surrounded by police.
You've been ratted out, boys.
The animals end up on a ship heading towards Kenya, but the penguins escape in probably the best scene in the movie.
It's an older code, Skipper. I can't make it out.
You, higher mammal. Can you read?
Everything in this scene shows why I love the penguins so much. Their timing, pacing, line delivery, and animation is all perfectly crisp. It makes the entire scene hilarious and exciting at the same time.
Navigation.
The penguins end up turning the ship towards Antarctica as Alex and Marty start fighting. The four fall off the ship and wash up on the shores of some tropical island.
I'm telling you, this could be the San Diego Zoo.
San Diego? What could be worse than San Diego?
Connecticut. Marty, Gloria, and Melman think they found the humans and prepare to meet them. Oh look, it's the second best part of the movie. Not the lemurs, just this song.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. Yeah, I like to move it.
Alex catches up with the group just as the Fusas attack the lemurs, interrupting their party.
We'll just,
Well, how to do?
Wait, if all the animals in this world can understand each other, why would Alex freak out that way after this spider just very kindly introduces himself?
I hate spiders.
Alex's racism against spiders is confirmed. The lemurs are impressed by how Alex scared off the Fusas and want to befriend him.
Come on, everybody. Let's go and meet the pansies.
The Russians before every battle in World War II.
All hail the New York Giants.
Every NFL fan after Super Bowl 42.
Hey, the bozos have the people!
Oh, well, great. Good. Phew.
They're up there.
Okay, was not expecting to see a human skeleton in my animated kids film. Thanks, DreamWorks.
You mean like the live in a mud hut, wipe yourself with a leaf type wild?
Wait, so Alex has been using toilet paper his whole life? Okay, two questions. One, who gives a lion toilet paper? And more importantly, who taught him how to use it? The group is mad at Marty and draw a literal line in the sand.
And if you need me, I'll be over here, on the fun side of the island, having a good old time.
This is the fun side. This is the fun side where we're gonna have a great time.
Politics. This is where the movie seems to devolve into meaningless filler for a good little bit.
Shut up, Spaulding.
Okay, what kid saw this movie and had actually seen Castaway in order to get this reference?
Darn you! Darn you all to heck!
Again, what kid saw this movie and had actually seen Planet of the Apes in order to get this reference? As our New Yorkers try to get used to life in the wild, the lemurs have a meeting to decide what to do with their new guests.
We have been attacked and eaten by the dreaded Fusa.
Again, what kid saw this movie and had actually seen this Twilight Zone episode in order to get this reference? The lemurs decide to try and keep the New York Giants around in order to keep the Fusas away for good.
When the New York Giants wake up, we will make sure that they wake up in paradise.
Bill Belichick after Super Bowl 42. Meanwhile, back on the beach, everyone but Alex eats seaweed as he craves steak. Again, and probably most concerning of all of these, what kid saw this movie and had actually seen American Beauty in order to get this reference? I swear if there's one more adult-only reference in this movie, I'm gonna lose it.
What are you doing?
Foreplay? We now return to the best part of the movie.
Well, this sucks.
We again leave the best part of the movie in order to show you a story about cannibalism or something.
Excuse me? You're biting my butt!
A situation all kids can relate to.
Come, Maurice, what is a simple bite on the buttocks among friends?
Why, when I was their age, my friends and I used to. I'm not reading the rest of this joke. It seems Alex has gone full savage as he takes off after Marty. Marty escapes as Alex realizes what he's done.
My God, it's true. I'm a monster.
Look at the body count in this next scene. Marty, Gloria, and Melman make their way to the shore and see the boat that they fell off of. The boat washes ashore as they find out that the penguins were the ones sailing it.
Ew! Oh, man, where are the people?
We killed them and ate their livers. Gotcha, didn't I? Just kidding, doll. The people are fine.
These penguins are comedic gold. Gold, I tell you! Marty runs off to find Alex to try to get him to come back with him.
We're a team. You and me, remember?
I don't want to hurt you.
Okay, how did this movie that a few minutes ago was joking about butt biting suddenly become effectively suspenseful and emotional? Marty gets chased by the Fusas as he runs into the rest of the group.
Melvin?
That's right, baby.
The group are outnumbered, but Alex comes in to save them and scares the Fusas away for good, saving the day. The lemurs celebrate, the penguins introduce Alex to sushi, so apparently murder is okay if animal is fish all of a sudden, and the group gets ready to head home.
Maybe we could make a few side stops along the way.
By side stops, they mean sequels. So that was Madagascar. Overall, I think it's a really good film. The animation is really nice, and most of the jokes land, especially with the penguins and lemurs. I hated this movie growing up because I felt it was overplayed and I saw it way too many times. But all these years later, after not seeing it for a long time, I really liked looking back on this movie, and I can see why it was so popular then and still is today. Now for the video game version, which starts out pretty similar to the movie. In fact, completely similar to the movie as it's the same scene minus one little part.
Wow!
That's cool!
You can see they didn't edit it very well, as Alex does jump out before it fades to the doll version. Which begs the question, if in this version Alex doesn't jump out, was Marty imagining Alex sneaking up on him as part of his daydream?
Ah, the zoo. Smack dab in the middle of wonderful New York City.
Marty wastes no time explaining the plot of the game, which is the same as from the movie. However, where the movie explained its plot and problems through dialogue between the characters that felt natural, here Marty just drops a whole bunch of exposition while talking to himself.
I'm just not sure if this is where I belong. I mean, I'm turning 10 years old today. There's gotta be something more out there than this. And you know, maybe today I'll find it.
The first level sees us at the Central Park Zoo, which looks really nice, especially for the time that this game came out. This whole game for the most part looks good graphic-wise, which is more than I can say for the voices in the game. None of the voice actors outside the penguins returned for the game, which is normal for many of these tie-in games. But a lot of the actors they got sound nothing like the characters from the film.
Hey, Alex! Just the line I wanted to see.
Come on, Marty. I remembered it's your birthday, okay? You don't have to butter me up.
Oh, Marty, this is the end. How can you stand it?
Okay. I'll see you later, Melman. They want to race you?
No.
Do they know about the...
Nope.
So they're full of...
To the beaks. You heard the zebra. Time to put your money where your mouth is.
I mean, Marty and Gloria sound alright, I guess, but Alex straight up sounds off, and it messes with me every time he talks. This first level consists of Marty meeting up with his friends as we get to play as each one and learn the basics of the game, from jumping to attacking, even running a race as Gloria against some ostriches. The second level shows Marty finding out about the penguins' plan to escape. This time though, he doesn't even talk it over with his friends, he just straight up takes the word of this random penguin without even thinking it over, which honestly makes the whole thing a lot funnier to me.
I just have one question. If we're trying to sneak out of here without the guards knowing, why are you yelling?
That is an excellent question, Stripes. Let me get back to you on that.
After collecting power cards to learn how to crawl, Marty sneaks up on the guards and steals keys to get out of the zoo. The next level begins with Alex, Gloria, and Melman already in chase after Marty. In this level you control all three in a temple run style level, where you run through the streets of New York trying to avoid getting hit by cars or shot by police. This is probably my favorite level in the entire game, as the different abilities and playstyles of the three characters are blended together perfectly, while the traffic and police keep the level fast-paced and challenging. Marty and the gang end up at Grand Central Station, but get surrounded at the front door by police and get knocked out. Sadly, this time with no trip out scene, regardless of how short it was.
I think that's the least of our... Ow!
We see the gang in their crates on the ship, as in this level we play as the Penguins, who are actually voiced by the same actors from the movie. Here we get to play through the best scene from the movie as the Penguins hijack the ship to Antarctica. We play as Skipper to scout ahead and make sure it's safe for the others to move forward without being spotted by the guards.
Looks like we're going through the pipe. Come on, Hut!
Hut! Hut! Hut!
There is a nice Metal Gear Solid Easter egg in this level too, as Skipper actually does use a cardboard box to sneak by the guards. The level ends with a very frustrating shooting section though, where Skipper tries to use a tranquilizer gun to knock out the guards. However, the windows that you're shooting through are so small and hard to shoot, because when you use the right stick to aim your crosshairs, you often blow right past where you were wanting to aim, and you have to just move super slowly in order to actually end up hitting anything. Like in the movie, Skipper and the gang take control of the ship, and the four in the crates fall off the ship and eventually wash up on the island. We play as Alex here looking for his friends in this platformer style level. Alex is sent on a couple of fetch quests for animals around the island before eventually making his way into a spider-infested jungle. This is absolutely the worst part of this game. First, the camera in this game is controlled by the right analog stick, but it's inverted, meaning moving the stick to the right moves the camera to the left and vice versa. And there is no way for me to change this. This means you constantly move the camera the wrong way and walk right off the side of the limbs of the trees that Alex is running on, forcing you to die and start over again. There are also spiders that will attack you, but being able to see them using the camera and then attack them is extremely difficult, as they too will knock you off the side and force you to start over. Finally, there is no compass or arrows pointing you in the direction you need to go, meaning you will constantly jump between branches you have already walked across as you get turned around and run around in circles before eventually finding your way to the end of the level. At the end of the level, Alex catches up with the other three as they meet the lemurs, this time with much worse music. Like before, Mort gets sent out to see if the strangers are friendly or not.
He's kinda cute.
Me, please, hurt, don't.
Oh no, he's a masochist.
I don't think that's what he meant.
An appropriate joke for this game made for children. The gang realizes they're in the wild, as this time they aren't upset, but instead decide to throw a party. But first, they have to save the lemurs from the Fusas in another extremely frustrating platforming level. The next few levels open up a lot more from narrow, annoying platforming to open world item collecting. In these levels, you switch between the four main characters in order to use their special abilities to collect items, such as food for a party or the parts needed to build a signal statue. Like in the movie, Alex ends up going savage and biting Marty, this time entirely off screen, as Marty comes up and just tells the rest of the group what happened instead of us actually getting to see it.
Does this explain things, Millman? Alex just bit me on the butt! See?
Yep, that is a bite on the butt, all right.
The group builds Lady Liberty to flag down any passing ships, and like in the movie, Marty decides to go back for Alex, this time with the help of Mort. Marty and Mort make their way down a path which, I'll be fair, has a very funny name to it.
I need you to focus, Mort. Is there any faster route?
Well, if you want to get there as quickly as possible, I'm afraid your only chance is to take the no chance of survival trail over there.
Now that sounds promising.
As we make our way to the final level, which is a boss battle, with Alex fighting the Fusas in what is honestly just a super easy and quite underwhelming finale. Like in the movie, the four are able to get on the boat and leave for home as the game ends. And that was Madagascar the video game, and I think it is the perfect example of your stereotypical movie tie-in game. It looks decent, has a couple of elements about it that are legitimately fun, but beyond that, there isn't much about it that really works that well. The voice acting isn't good, the story is just a condensed, worse version of the movie, and it does nothing really to set itself apart and shows very little passion for making something memorable. That being said, it's nowhere near as bad as some other tie-in games, which had nothing good about them. So with both Madagascar the movie and Madagascar the video game, it may not be great, but it certainly isn't terrible either. Just alright. And with some of the games and movies I've played before, just alright is alright with me. I'm Brandon Satterwhite for Idej Gaming. Thank you for watching.